Welcome to Roll for Noodles, the series where I make a randomized noodle dish for my wife. This series is inspired by Adventures in Ardia's Roll for Sandwich. Let's get started with our Roll for Noodle shape. That's a 9 for Buldak, and I'm going to use my new As Intended cantrip, which lets me skip the sauce roll and instead use the packet it came with. So with that, we'll go right to our veggie roll. We've got a 2 for spinach and a 4 for artichoke. Now let's see if the dice gods will bless us with a protein today. Nope, maybe next time. Now let's roll for pastability. That's a 9 for mustard. And now for the finishing touch. That's a 7! We get to roll for cheese! And our cheese is... dealer's choice, I get to pick. My immediate thought is to go for a spinach artichoke dip vibe, so I'm gonna try out the cream carbonara buldak. I've never had it before, but my guess is it's probably a little creamier than the regular carbonara. Hopefully we can amp up that creaminess even more with the cheese. Now, I love whole and canned artichokes. I tried these frozen ones on a forbidden episode of Noodles for Lunch, and will probably never buy them again. I'm hoping this application is better. While I peel and grate this garlic for the garlic cantrip, I'm going to admit something very embarrassing. I totally forgot the mustard. I even had it out on the counter and everything, and I just forgot to put it in and didn't remember until I went to bed. So Kelly has written up a list of punishments, and I'm going to roll for one next episode. I don't have a clue what's on her punishment list, and I'm not going to find out until after I roll. Here I'm using my garlic grating plate to get as much flavor out as possible, and then our next step is to boil the noodles. Once those are in, I'll start cooking the veggies. We'll start by sauteing the garlic, and then we'll add our frozen spinach. Spinach goes well with creamy sauces, so I don't see a problem here. And while that steams, let's check in with our noodle expert.
Wait. Wait. Oh, no, you're not. Wait. Wait. Hey. Okay. There we go. Good job, buddy.
Alright, time to check back in on our veggies. I'm gonna break apart the spinach a little bit, and then we'll add our defrosted artichoke. I do like artichoke hearts in pastas and on pizza, and if it's gonna be paired up with any other veggie, it might as well be spinach. Since it's not in a brine like some canned artichokes, I don't see it adding a ton of flavor, but we'll see how it goes. While those finish up, I'm gonna mix up our sauce packet. We've got the cheesy, creamy powder and the spicy sauce. As you already know, I am very weak when it comes to Buldak spicy sauce, so I'll put about half a packet in each. We'll mix that up with a little bit of the reserved noodle water, and then we'll add in the actual noodles. This is probably where I would have added in the mustard if I had remembered it, and I don't know, maybe it would have worked. I mean, people add mustard to their mac and cheese all the time to make it a little tangy. I even have the Trader Joe's garlic aioli mustard, because I can't stand yellow mustard. But alas, I suppose we'll never know. Now our last step is the finishing touch. I have a few slices of this mozzarella cheese left from the grilled cheese episode, and I thought it would be fun to brulee it with this little blowtorch Kelly got me for Christmas. My thought process was that once it was all melted on top, we'd be able to mix it in and it would get all gooey and creamy like a real spinach artichoke dip. But unfortunately, my worst fears were realized, and instead it just became a giant glob that wouldn't mix in. I even tried to salvage it by microwaving it after, but it didn't really do much. Buldak, if you can hear this, I'm sorry about what I did to your noodles, and I'm especially sorry that I almost put mustard in them. But it's noodles o'clock, and my wife's gotta eat. I'm gonna call this one a spin-on-spin dip. I'm hoping that besides the Alfie hair that made its way into this, it's still salvageable. But it's not up to me. Cheers.
Gonna be a no on the cheese for me. There's a lot of this cheese and it just doesn't flow. It's like very gluey. I actually like how cheesy this I'm assuming it's the buldak, right? Very spicy still, but that cheesiness is good. I just think that this mozzarella on top is overpowering. There's a lot of it in it. The potatoes in this are pretty decent.
There's no potatoes.
What is that?
Artichoke.
That's artichoke?
Mhm.
Okay.
I was trying to do like a spinach artichoke dip thing.
Yeah, no, I like the artichokes. The spinach is fine. It's not adding a ton. This was a good thought, but I think that the spinach artichoke just does not blend with buldak noodles. I'm gonna be honest, this was not my personal favorite, and I feel bad that I'm not gonna give it a great rating, but I think, in my personal opinion, it gets a 6.